This community and dear friends. Some of you I know, some of you I will meet later today. I'm very honored that I share the stage and share this room today with you, because I think this is one of the most important things that we should talk about and that we should exchange our knowledge and our expertise, because some very funny future is in front of us. What thrills me most to then see the people from the business is to see the students, to see the young people, because you own the future. You are the future. We can help you and we can work together on how to make things better, not only for Bosnia, but for the region and for the global economy. So before I start, I would like also to welcome three of my colleagues, three of the great team members that are here today with us. Ms. Selma Isabegovic, which is the country manager of Manpower Group in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Ms. Tijana Jevtic, which is the regional business development director from our hub office in Serbia. And Ms. Ana Ivanišević, which is the SME team lead also from the Serbian office. This is how we show that this is really very important topic for all of us. And these three ladies have more than 20 years of experience on a great projects and the great results within the Manpower only. So you will have the opportunity to network with them and to ask them how the things can be done in some other markets and how things can be generally done. So what I will talk today is about talent availability in the Balkans, in the Western Balkans, in our region, and in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So in order to talk about that, we shall talk about a little bit about the global perspectives. And what I like to do first is let us make a little exercise. I would like that you all close your eyes for 10 seconds. This will be the 10 seconds exercise. Just close your eyes. And I want to hear from you a deep breath. And now try to answer just for yourself and to yourself. Why are you here? And then we shall discuss later in our pauses, why are we here? We know why are we here, why Manpower is here. Our vision is that we lead in the creation and delivery of innovative workforce solutions and services that enable our clients to win in the changing world of work. Really, today, besides the IT industry, and I can see people from authority partners, from Ministry of Programming, the biggest growing industry is basically the people industry, the HR industry. So it's changing really, really fast. Adi already introduced us, so I will not spend time to talk about the numbers. I will just say that we are the oldest HR company in the world, the one that has the most employees, experts, 28,000 in our world offices, and that only last year we have connected 3.4 million people to the meaningful work. This is a very important word, the meaningful work. It's not finding the job, it's finding the purpose. You know, when we say that we are from the Manpower, it's usually connected that, you know, how come this is such a chauvinistic word, you know? Is it only the guys that are working there? No, basically, for example, I'm the only guy in the office in Sarajevo, and I think that only 20% of our employees are male. So we are proud that we are the winners of the Women's Choice Award of the best companies to work for women in the US. And as a matter of talk, we got the announcement today that for the 13 years in a row, we are awarded to be the most ethical company in the world by Ethisphere.com. You can check them and you can see the relevance of their work. So in the region, we are gathered in the Southeast European cluster, which covers the countries from Slovenia to Bulgaria. We are organized in the 12 offices within these countries. We are more than 250 experts that are working daily on various HR solutions. We connected more than 5,000 people just last year, referred to the work of outsourcing, 6,000 required candidates, and 9,000 people that are on a payroll within our region. So you know that commercial. Enough about me, now we will talk about my car. So the biggest question of today is, where are the talents? Where are they? Please raise the hand who doesn't have the problem to find the right talent today in the market. Who doesn't have the problem? Very good. Only 2. Doesn't have the problem to find the talent. So it's, by statistics, I think 98.7% in this room. Okay, that we have the problem. We can brag in Bosnia that we are finally the part of the global trend, which is not good, unfortunately. Yes, we are in the talent shortage, which is the strongest in the past 15 years globally. All the changes that we will discuss today and that you know very well led to this project and led to this problem. And 69%, this is the number that we will talk a lot, 69 of employers are reporting difficulties to find the right talents for their open vacancies. The biggest problems in Europe are in France, Romania, and Italy at the moment, because we'll see why. The trend you can see in the past 11 years, it wasn't very good back in the 2010, that also 30% of the employers couldn't find the right talent for the meaningful jobs. But today it's 100% more. So we are not facing the issue as it's the modern word to say for a problem. It's really the problem. So the industries are impacted, which are most impacted by this, and followed by, of course, the 2 years of pandemics, are manufacturing, hospitality, entertainment, and travel sector. Of course, all of the industries that are supporting these businesses are affected too. So where are the talents? Where are they? These are basically our words that we hear a lot. When we speak with the community, with the business community, they will all say, you know, there is a huge trend of the population from Bosnia. Okay. Freelance. The IT industry is facing that a lot. Am I right? You build someone, they think they can earn more, and this is their main motive, and they go to the freelance. Wandering around, walking like, as we say in Bosnian, kao muhe bez glave. Are they in a deep space somewhere? Is it all of the above? What happened in the past 2 years never happened before. People had time to think, to talk with themselves for 2 years, to introspect, and to see what can be done differently. How my life can be more meaningful and how it can be different. In the same time, the lines of the supply and demand completely broke down. The growing demand for all the services, and don't forget that for the 2 years, the most of the US citizens were sitting at home, receiving their salaries, basically making the savings on their accounts. And after 2 years, they want everything now. We want to live our lives now. I want 3 coffees instead of 1. I want to buy the best car I ever wanted. I want to travel now, finally, the most expensive destinations. And of course, the supply chain cannot endure all of that. And I think what is happening right now is, in the market, is kind of a game, the music chair. You remember that game when we were the kids on the birthday parties. You know, there were a chair less than how many children were running around, and when the music stops, you should sit down, and the one who doesn't goes out. So basically what the talents are doing right now, searching for their meaning and their purpose in life, is running around. And what is happening in your companies? They're staying for 3 months in your company. For the next 3 months, they don't fit. And then they want to go for another round because they're finding for their purpose they cannot find in your company. And I know it's very harsh to hear that. So let's play a game of which country is which. What do you think? Where is Bosnia? In the middle, of course. So the population of 2.7. Forget about the census in 2013 and 3.7 million or something. Forget about it. I think that the number is even less. My personal point of view is that it's 2.55 at the moment. Slovenia has 2 million. So we are basically now at the number of Slovenians. Unemployment rate, of course, as everything in this country regarding the statistics, you don't get the real data. So we all have some kind of our researches. So it's 18 to 31%. Nobody knows because there is still a lot of things going on in a gray economy. Bulgaria, unemployment rate at the 5%. What is happening now in Bulgaria is that they're becoming the biggest hub for many industries in the region. Why? Because a lot of Bulgarians are coming back from the UK, from the Europe, because they are starting to building their BPOs, their outsourcing businesses, and a huge thing is going on there, really huge thing. Explore Bulgaria a little bit more. Maybe something for your businesses can be very interesting there. Slovenia, the historically lowest unemployment rate at the moment, less than 4%. Basically, only those people who really don't want to work, don't work. Serbia, the unemployment rate that is dropping significantly quarter by quarter by quarter. Now, even less than 9%. And Croatia, which has a huge seasonal demand for many businesses, but not only the seasonal demand for only, hospitality during the tourist season, but also the supporting of these businesses and improvements, which many of them come from the IT industry, which are happening throughout the whole year. They're all trying to improve and to attract the best of the best. But what is very important number here is the median age of the people living in all of these countries. 45, 44. Where are the youngs, guys? What's happening? Where are the young talents? Where is the future? Where are those people that we have to invest to have the future? So the global, in order that we start talking about the shortage country by country in the Western Balkans and in Bosnia, the global shortage around the world as reported in our global research, which we are conducting quarter by quarter, so these are very fresh data that you're looking at, is 69% at the moment. In Slovenia, it's 80% of the companies that cannot find the right talents for their businesses. 80%. In Croatia, 61%. In Bulgaria, also around 65%. So regarding the size of the company, as you will see in Bulgaria, in medium companies, it is bigger, and in the large companies, it's much bigger than the global average. So this is showing the trend of emerging of the small and the micro companies. And this number will probably change in the next 2 quarters because they will also have a huge issue with finding the right talents for their small businesses. In Croatia, small businesses and large businesses are also facing difficulties comparing to the global average. Slovenia is in a problem. It's in a huge problem finding in all sizes, in all size companies in their businesses. So what are the top 5 in-demand roles for the global businesses? It's operations, logistics. We all know about the supply chain. We are listening that for 2 years now. And at the moment that we thought, okay, the pandemic is over, now obviously everything is connected with Ukraine. I was talking with some people, and my friend, who is very not knowledgeable in economics, said, "Oh my God, the olives are more expensive, are 100% more expensive, and they are telling that it's because of the Ukraine. How many olive trees are growing in Ukraine?" I said, "Look, now we are in a global economy, and now what Adam was telling is deglobalization that will happen very soon." It's manufacturing and production. It's obvious what is happening worldwide, because in the economy, in the manufacturing, even nevertheless, it's China or somewhere else, for 2 years, everything was stopped. So in the warehouses, you had your supplies for 2-3 months, and then your production can supply the demand for the market in 2 weeks, let's say, for a monthly business. So it's 4 months, but we're in a delay for 2 years, and everybody wants now and immediately. This brings also to the huge inflation that we are now facing. Sales and marketing, everybody wants magicians who can start selling now and bring the 100% of growth for the company within 3 weeks. Yeah, I would like to have that magic wand, but it's not happening. IT and data, administration and office supply. So by countries, in-demand roles are globally what we have said. At the end, on the 6th and the 7th place are the front office and customer facing and the HR. So basically what is happening in coming back to work, coming back to office. In Croatia, more or less what is happening in the world is happening in Croatia, but with additional administration and the office support. A lot connected with the call centers, with the BPOs, and so on. In Bulgaria, more or less the same situation. In Slovenia, more or less the same situation. So we are following the global trends, aren't we? Everywhere, it's about the operation, manufacturing, administration, IT, front office, sales. How to produce, how to sell, how to contact with our stakeholders, customers. So what is happening? The acceleration of the importance of the soft skills, because the global economy changed, and we are not only, and what we said, we had 2 years of thinking. So it's not only about the KPIs and the results. You have to produce. Because I will say, no, I can go somewhere else where someone will say, you know, we have the purpose to produce. And it's very different in the approach to the talent. Telling them, you have to, and we have to. And there is a great story about, are you working, what would you like to, where would you like to work more? In the corporation or the company? And you know, how are we mindseted? In the corporation, you know? The corporations are big, you can earn more money, it's organized. And if you go to etymology of the word, corporation comes from corpus, feeding the body, just feeding it. And the company comes from Latin, com pane, with whom I'm sharing the bread. So where would you like to work? With the people that you're sharing bread with, or just, you know, pushing the body to be fed more and more and more? So in demand of the soft skills by countries is accountability, resilience, initiative taking, which is very important. And I know that in the most of your companies, you always try to push people, especially the young people, give more initiatives, but they don't know how. They don't know how. In Bulgaria, more or less the same situation. In Croatia, more or less the same situation. In Slovenia, again, accountability. So this is what companies are asking from their employees. So there is the mind gap between the old way of thinking, how companies are doing, and what the new workers and the new people want. The new normal, you know, that phrase that we are all now used to. Basically, the only thing where companies and workers are working together is the flexible start and finish time, because 9 out of 10 people are saying they just want to keep their jobs. They feel good in your companies, they want to feel it, but they want to improve it. They don't know how. And now 8 in 10 people, 80%, believe in the work-life balance. This is the new buzzword, you know, the work-life balance. What Manpower did, for example, in the Southeast Europe, is that we engaged in the pilot project and then came up with a 4 days working week. So the Fridays are off. That doesn't mean that we don't work for our clients. That just means that we have more time for other and better things to improve, to think, to work what we like, so that we get better in our daily jobs. So what workers really want? It's personalization and the career insight. It's education, experience, and exposure. It's flexibility and control. And it's purpose. The buzzword of 2022 is the purpose. In the marketing, back in the days, before 20 years, we called that the mission and the vision of the company. But it was so advertised, you know, it was so marketing oriented. It was ex cathedra lecturing. The purpose is the two-way communication with all the stakeholders you have. And it's a strategic approach, day to day to day. So you need to ask why people want to return to the offices. This is the big question now. After 2 years, how to, you know, encourage people to get back, or can they work remotely, and how can they work remotely, and what are the KPIs? Because the sustainability of the companies should be at the first place, of course. It's not only about the workers, it's a two-way communication. The skills are evolving. Now, the marketing, for example, I come from this world. My 20-year career is very oriented to the marketing. Marketing 20 years ago and today are not the same science or the practice or anything else. So I need to evolve and to understand what is TikTok all about. You will never find me on a TikTok, you know, making some funny dances or whatever, but I need to know how the algorithm works in order to maintain the business. So it's accountability and offering to the employees the opportunity to work again remotely. But you cannot offer everybody to work remotely. For example, the production companies, you know, you cannot just switch off the machine on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So there are another methods that could be used to, you know, improve their work-life balance. 6-hour shifts and so on and so on. Physical and emotional well-being. This is, I think, the most important thing what people were thinking about for the 2 years. They were first scared of the pandemic, scared of the real disease, but then they started to think about their mental health and what was happening before. And to build the resilience in people and the organizations. And this is really how you will motivate them to have the strong leadership. People, most of the people don't want to be led, or they just don't want to follow. They want to give the initiatives, but we must learn how to listen. So what is happening in Bosnia, and where are the talents in Bosnia? Because there are no researches, together with our friends from the market makers, which are here today also, we did one great research about the BPO potential in Bosnia. So the purpose was to find what is the situation in 3 major positions or the industries: finance and accounting, linguistic and the basic IT services, and the IT/ITS services. So we focused on the 6 cities, but most on their suburban areas, some 50 kilometers around these cities. The numbers we got is very good, actually. So there are approximately 1,500 companies of relevant BPO industries that are there. And there are also almost 16,000 people that are working in these companies. They're related to these companies. Okay, so the talents are somewhere there. So what is very important is that 64,000 students are studying something which is connected to the BPO businesses. 64,000 future talents. Do we know how to reach them right now? And there are 3,800 graduates which are in the market already. So, as you can see, 69%, again, this magic number, 69. They are not actively searching for the business, but they're willing to be informed about the new job opportunities. So they're the switchers. We call them in the marketing, the switchers. They are the strategies on how to approach them. Sometimes it's very rough from the marketing side when you're selling, it's the same, whether you're selling drugs like medicals, not drugs, milk or people. It's all in the same mindset on how to approach through the strategies. So, what is the estimated number of the active job seekers that are employed in the position of the interest? More than 3,000. More than 3,000. And as you can see, 59% of them are willing to work in the BPO industry, but not on the entry levels, on the entry roles. Now, there is always the gap between the references and the expectations within the talents, But if you approach them and explain them what their real knowledge is, they're ready to listen and to improve with the right strategies and the right tools. And regarding the salaries, we have the estimation that in the suburban areas, 10 to 15% people are lower, expectations are lower, and they are expecting to have the financial expectations compared to the real salary ranges in these businesses are somewhere 15 to 20% higher than the statistic average. So these are only the 5 tables I have showed you out of, I don't know, the book has 80 pages of such numbers of the research, where we have, the conclusion is that there is a huge possibility of the remote work on any considered location, and that there is a recommendation for the BPO companies to open their businesses, especially in the suburban areas and smaller cities, given the lower cost of the living and the willingness of the talents to work remotely and to even, travel to work in these 50 kilometers radius if they are paid for their driving costs. Do you have the data? So now do we know where are the talents? Yes, basically we know. And at the end of this presentation, because I have this red button here glowing like you're finished. So the talents are here, but you need to research. You need to research. Because don't get me wrong, when you're going out to buy shoes or shirt, what do? You go to SCC, to the city center, and you walk through 3 or 4, venues, and you try several of them. What is that? That is a research. And you finally make the decision. So how come that very few companies in Bosnia are working on any kind of the research when it comes to their multi-million businesses? And this is the question I'm raising for the 20 years in the marketing. Damir knows that very, very well from the BiH Alliance, that we are facing in our industry for 20 years in the marketing. We know everything. Why should we pay for the research? Yeah, you go to buy the shoes and you go for the research, but you don't pay for your multi-million business and you don't know what to do. The talents are there or here, but you don't know where to search. Don't get me wrong. We all have the LinkedIn, but it's not the database we're searching for, everybody. And it's, again, comparison to the marketing. 15 or 20 years ago, anybody who would have the Photoshop was considered not to be the designer, but the marketing expert. And this is why the marketing agencies all drop down, unfortunately, in our country. Talents are here, but you choose wrong ones because you don't assess. On the entry level of talk with your future talents, those who should bring your added value, you don't do the basic assess. There are so many tools that you can assess, not the psychological profile or the intelligence, how people are, thinking. There are so many of, are these people fit for you? The Harrison test and so on and so on. And for very low cost of money. And talents are here, but they leave you because you don't develop them. And it's again the story about finding their purpose. And you need to match your purpose with theirs. It's like a marriage. It's like matching the frequencies. So accelerate your talent strategy. It's to build, to buy talents, to borrow, or to bridge. There are always the ways to solve the problem. And at the end,
when business needs people, Manpower Group is here. When people need skills, Manpower Group is here. When the world of work is in the midst of a revolution. When change happens and business needs solutions. When the economy ebbs and flows and the workplace needs to be more inclusive. Where the next hire is 7,000 miles away. When it's time to innovate and time to do the right thing. When the pace accelerates and the world needs action and leadership is needed. When you embrace the future. When the world wants answers about the future of work and the future for workers, Manpower Group is here.
So that's it for today, folks. And I hate lecturing. I hate ex cathedra speeches. So please, we are here today for the networking, for talk. The four of us are here and we can talk about everything. We will gladly share our knowledge, our expertise, and we will even more gladly learn from you what is the future and how it can be better. Thank you very much.
Just a second. So, you know the procedure, we explained it a bit earlier. Raise your questions or feedbacks and comments for the first keynote speech of today by Manpower Group. And actually we have it.
Okay, so we have some questions. Can we get Manpower report on talent shortages and trends posted to the conference LinkedIn group? Yeah, this presentation can be shared, so feel free to share it. The organizer, the ABSL, please do it. What is the role of companies in educating people to get the needed and missing skills? It is how to motivate people, first of all, how to research what is the real education that people need. That's the first thing. The second thing is to motivate them to learn. There is the great speech, the great documentary for Ivo Pogorelic, the famous pianist, the top of the pops, you know. And his famous words are, my main motive and my main life goal is never to stop being a student. Because at the moment when I will stop learning is the moment I will, lay down to bed and die. So the role of the companies is to awaken the motive for people to learn, but to learn what is most beneficial for them and for the company in the same time. Because not all of the people are made for the same programs that you are having in your companies. The third question, the anonymous. How much of talent reskilling you see in Bosnia to meet the market needs? For example, English teachers learning to code. This is a very good question. Not so many in Bosnia, but for example, in Croatia, there is a huge projects happening right now. Because when you explain to the people on what is their salary if they're working in the call center versus what they can earn in the elementary school, there is the motive. So you need to find the right marketing tool and channel on how to explain them why should they reskill. Because for the past 20 years, through various projects after the war, we are speaking about the importance of the long life learning and the reskilling, and then people go through many courses, but nothing happens at the end. And this is why people don't believe. Now it's time, as Adnan said, when you have the biggest crisis in the world, the biggest changes happen. So we have the opportunity to change the way how we communicate what happens if you reskill or upskill. I like to use the word upskill, not only the reskill. When mapping the local market, we need the relevant data. We know statistics are wrong, salaries, unemployment rate. What data does Manpower use? Rashad, this is what we have done in the field. So we can talk about the methodology. So it's really from the quantitative methodologies in the enquetes and qualitative methodologies. But in regards of the numbers, it's quantitative methodologies. We can share gladly with you how we did it in Bosnia together with our colleagues from the market makers. We will meet on a coffee break to speak about it. So it's the latest question.
Yes,
yeah, that's it. For a small and somewhat saturated market such as Bosnia, what can be the answer to capturing large clients? Could pooling resources be the answer? What do you mean by the large clients? That's the first question. What is their location? That's the second question. Do you think about bringing them to Bosnia like the big manufacturing companies? For example, in Serbia, what is happening is that the government has their programs on how to ease up the opening of these companies. And then all the support industries, such as Manpower, are giving the analysis for the due diligences, for all kind of researches of the availability of the talents, developing them, and so on and so on. So I don't like to say now that the Bosnia is a small market. The Bosnia is the part of the global market, and many companies now are showing that they are the great and big players globally, especially in the IT industry, especially. So could pooling resources be the answer? Yes, it can be, but with the change of the law. Because at the moment, if you're aware, we are the only country in the region which cannot import the foreign workforce legally. And this is something that is a question for the government. This is why we are here, I think, that we talk, that we make the programs, that we make our statements as the business community, and to be more proactive towards sending to the government these documents day by day, to be very persistent and, to make things happen. Because if we send today and then we are waiting for their reply, nothing will happen. We need to be more proactive, we as the business community.